Hello and welcome to Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Pisces, tonight our card is, yes, the 7 of Swords. I know, it's not our favorite card to get, but do not worry. We're going to figure this one out. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look and see what are these tea leaves going to tell us. And immediately I'm seeing the number 22. You can see it right here, 22. Okay, and so if you have not subscribed to the channel, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Absolutely. Okay, so we have two people talking right here. There's one here and there's one here. Now, this person actually looks like an ibis bird. That is the most sacred bird. No, they're all sacred, right? But there is a bird called the sacred ibis bird. And it is depicted in Egyptoglyphs and reliefs and related often to the god Thoth, right? Or what's the other, how do they say it? Tot? I don't know. I can't remember. I've heard it said, I've heard it pronounced different ways. I'm sticking with Thoth because I know I will remember that. So we have a person standing face to face with this, god of magic, god of creating within the fine details, god of the sciences, god of a lot of things, right? And so I feel like there's a sense of being a person, Pisces, that has always you've had the ability to get things brought together, to build with them, and create something very special. I imagine that you are fairly successful. Now, does that mean, monetarily? Maybe, if that is the measurement that applies to you. Right, but it might be that you are doing, some kind of higher work. Maybe you are an artist, a writer, something. Just because it's amazing, and listen, there's a lot of artwork out there, astounding. But the artists aren't making money, Same with books. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people read anymore. No, I'm sure they do. If you're here, I know that you must be a reader, right? You're interested in things. And so, this could be that you are really, really good at whatever it is you do. Maybe it's your job, maybe it's your career, a hobby, and I'm sorry, I'm taking a little drink here. I don't usually drink from bottles, but I am. And I know it's terrible. I'm back on pop. I tried to quit both coffee and pop. I quit pop, then quit coffee, then started drinking pop a little bit again. So and it's diet too. So that's even, more questionable. What am I doing? I like it. I don't know what to tell you. But you are somebody who, you just, you get in there. You innovate. You create. I know I talk a lot about gardening, right? If you are somebody who is a gardener and you have this really like thoth-centric energy around you, within you, you are of it, it is of you. I can imagine you go out there, you get the garden set up, right? You get the soils tilled and mixed and primed for planting, and you plant and you grow, and over the years you construct this most gorgeous gardens, right? Maybe some hedges and wildflowers and, what was I trying to, climbing vines or ivy or whatever it is, right? And it becomes this masterpiece. And that's because you're a magician, you're a world creator, and you're good at it. Now, this is where that 7 of Swords really kind of comes in, okay? So I'm seeing up here, it looks like we have a person kind of possibly being attacked by some kind of wild animals, okay? We also have a person up here who is standing there holding, it looks like a box, but it also looks like it says J-O-B, job. And it looks like okay. So it looks like we have 2 people fighting over a child. Okay, so we have some disharmony in the private life, right? Now, it may be that you had a custody battle at some point. Maybe you were the child of parents who are divorcing, and it was very contentious, and, it has stuck with you. But I feel like with the person also being kind of attacked from the side, I really feel that there is maybe an anxiety around separation, okay? Abandonment, loss, grief. Maybe you're kind of averse to this. And maybe that's made it hard for you to really kind of apply yourself within deeper relationships. Maybe that's something that, it's like you get together with somebody, you get to know them, you're dating, you're vibing, you maybe even get like engaged, you move in, you get married, whatever, to whatever degree this connection happens. But you can never get past that thing, that wall, right? It's always kind of there. And to let yourself really rely on somebody else, to trust that they're going to stick around, that they're going to be your person, forever, that you're going to allow them to see parts of your authentic self, right? That you're going to open up and be vulnerable. I feel like that's really hard at times. I mean, probably whenever you are in a very involved relationship. And so I can see that maybe this is something that you lament a little bit. Maybe you feel singled out. Because let's face it, you probably have people around you who are doing well. I even see we have a person here holding a baby. Okay, they're sitting and there's a little baby right here. And I feel like you look around and you think, I've had the opportunity to have this really wonderful life, but I just don't know how to get to that point. I don't know how to let myself be in it. I don't know how to let myself fully commit to the relationship. And I don't mean like infidelity or running around, but I mean commit in a way that is like soul to soul. Okay? And so I feel like there has been this blockage, and it feels like it's like the fighting, the arguing, the heartbreak, the the lies and the fights and all of it. It felt like being in a war zone. You know what I mean? Like, it just so big. And that's why I wonder if this is from childhood, because when we're young, when we're little, right, everything seems so big and so dramatic and so and also a mystery. Like, why are my parents always yelling at each other? Why are my parents slamming doors and people are crying and whatever? And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and you don't really even necessarily know what name to put on it. What is this thing that I'm feeling? And so I wonder if this is kind of an unresolved blockage, something that you have kind of taken with you into adulthood. And I do feel that there's a desire to be able to learn how to trust people. Learn how to trust at least one person that you want to have a life with, And I think at times you feel like it might be impossible. But I also think that you have such a deep capacity to love that you are willing to stay the course, right? To be on this path. And so even though we have that Seven of Swords, and it is all about kind of futility, about giving up, about, outside forces or hidden forces kind of causing trouble in your little bubble of life, right? I feel like it's like even knowing all of this, that it's never going to be perfect. It's always going to kind of hurt a little bit, right? It's worth going through some of that stuff to get to the good, right? The nectar of the thing. And so I could see you really, really devoting yourself to kind of processing some of this old stuff. And now, I don't want to be the one to always say it's our parents' fault for how we end up, right? I'm not a complete Freudian, but yeah, of course. We are indoctrinated, we are conditioned, we are set up for life depending on how we kind of grow up, and it's not even the money or where we live, those are aspects, but really how you see people treating each other, talking to one another. Are they listening? Are they not? Are they struggling? Are they not? Are they hiding things? Are they not? It's all of it. It kind of, it's a weird thing how identity, how, persona, coping mechanisms, conditioning, and just our neural pathways, right? How those end up being kind of constructed and laid down and plugged in together and all of that. It seems infinitely complex, right? So I think it is. I think it's a wonderful thing that even with all of this, you still want to be able to push past, right? To find some way to alleviate this fear, right? This kind of instinct to recoil. And I have to say, I have the name Jamie here. J-A, yes, J-A-M-I-E, Jamie. So I don't know who that is. You might know. If you know, tell me. Let me know. Put it in the comments. So we also have, I feel like it's like this, you're in this part of your life where you really want to get things squared away, right? You want everything to kind of begin to find its place. And even when there are these really difficult, deep things that, look, most of us don't want to face this stuff. I don't, I don't look forward to going to the therapist on a Thursday afternoon. It's beautiful outside and I'm going to go sit in an office and probably likely cry for a while, but sometimes we have to just commit to this, self-exploration, self-healing, self-love, prioritizing ourselves, and doing the difficult work to get there. And so I feel like this is not the first thing. You've done a lot of other things to get your life together. And I think, this is maybe one of the bigger things. Maybe one of the things that you've been putting off a little bit. Maybe one of the things that, if you have ever been in therapy of any kind or done self-work or spiritual work or whatever it is, you go in there working on, a couple things or one thing. And as you process through, all of a sudden, things that you didn't even realize were difficult or blockages or even of note, they start to rise to the top, right? And so all of a sudden you have these other things. Oh, okay, well, I got this thing kind of worked out. And now all of a sudden I'm noticing these other things, or I'm starting to realize those things were not as benign as I thought they may have been. So I think that this is one of the maybe revelations that you've had. Something that you're now seeing, this really affected me. This continues to affect me. And so I want to take a look. And I just want to see kind of how this next period of time kind of starts to play out, right? Now, I want to see that we're walking away from that Seven of Swords, that we are not letting it really kind of, get its grasp on us. And I want to see where we're going to go. What is it going to look like? So I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Some of these I don't know. There's like a random one upside down once in a while. Okay, so we have choice. Generosity. Enthusiasm, yeah. Okay, so this makes sense to me with a Pisces especially. Being of service, being generous with self, with time, with energy, maybe monetarily, but more than that, being with people, okay? Helping out, feeling good about this, not being so focused on maybe how things feel kind of difficult and stagnant, or you're just not, I don't know how to get around this, and if you're like me, I'm a big ruminator for sure. I will ruminate about something for months, and that, when it's really bad, that's all I can think about. It just takes over my consciousness. And one of the ways that I know for sure helps me get out of that thinking is, being of service to others, being with other people, doing stuff that, it benefits me because it makes me feel good, but knowing that I am spending some of the hours of my life trying to help somebody else, trying to, raise the vibration, bring in a little bit of that light, where maybe there has not been much. And doing that with enthusiasm, it's almost like you can forget your problems for a little while. I know I really learned that this was a force of transformation, right? Because when I got into recovery, and if you're familiar with 12-step, like AA, NA, and so on, you'll know that service work is a huge part of it. Now, it might not be right at the beginning, but as you get into the program and you hopefully stay with the program, there's a lot of opportunities to be helping with, your meetings or with the people that you meet, or maybe you end up sponsoring people or whatever, giving people rides, helping get people set up with jobs, whatever it is. And getting involved with that. Now, within recovery, right, it can be kind of dramatic at times. So you have to be careful for that, of course. But giving of yourself and your time, it literally just transmutes some of that negative energy. And especially if you're an overthinker, which I feel like Pisces are likely, pretty often. I won't super generalize, but I would say, probably overthinkers. And when you get stuck in that loop of thinking, it feels like it's impossible to get out of, right? That becomes your reality. So I could see here where, you're doing some self-work, and it's hard. And it brings up a lot of stuff. And you might start getting to a point where you're like, I'm feeling like I'm sinking into quicksand. This is getting really difficult. I'm focused on, myself, my family, these people who are all probably involved a lot with some of the issues that I have going on. And it makes the world feel probably pretty small. And it's a lot. It's a lot. But balancing that out with doing things that make you feel good, that make you feel, like you are needed, that you are a part of something, that there is some kind of movement, or even that, you don't have to focus on your own stuff for a little while, right? And doing that and doing it with enthusiasm, being fully in the moment, being fully involved, it's almost like a bit of an absolution. It washes away a lot of that, just, it's like the mud that keeps you sunken. And really it's all about the choices we make to get us to this point, or finding some avenue of relief. And, hopefully you can find something that's a little bit productive, although being productive is not the most important thing in the world. But, it does. I think that at times it can really make you feel like there's some meaning to your life. And yes, to be a person that is committed to being a part of your community, whatever that looks like, all of these things, it helps it helps fortify us. It also helps wash away some of that stuff that we can, you know, just sit around and think about in circles. Okay. Now we're going to do our little plate here. We have a duck at the top, 2. Somebody who plays soccer or football. Football, it's called football in other places. Here in the U.S., of course, we have to do everything super backwards. So we call it soccer. We have a person who played soccer or plays soccer. And I'm getting the impression that they transitioned. They're probably maybe in Aries, probably. It feels like it. We have the Ram. But when they transitioned, it was unexpected. There was absolutely a feeling of shock on your end. And I feel like when I'm talking about this, I can feel like the pressure on my chest. Like you didn't believe it. Like this is a joke. They must be playing a joke on me, right? Like that, obviously, this is not real. And as it sunk in, I can feel just the anguish, the shock. Just everything feeling like it both simultaneously froze and the floor just fell away. And you're seeing, you know, you're just descending. And I almost wonder if this wasn't that long ago, because I feel like it's, even as I'm talking about this, I feel like it's hard for you to think about them. Not because you didn't love them. Of course, you love them so deeply. And I wonder if it's maybe a brother. But it's hard. It's hard to think about them. It's hard to say their name. When people start talking about them, you have to like get up and walk out of the room, because it feels like, you know, I don't, if you've ever had like a panic attack, or you have like a physical reaction to grief, or depression, or terror, you know, anxiety. It just, some people have it mostly, you know, it's like a more of a mental thing, but there are a lot of people who have very physical reactions. And I can feel it's like you can't even begin to control it. It just takes over. You know, like you get rigid and hollow and you know, just kind of like you're petrified, but you know, it's grief. It's intense grief. And it just it doesn't subside. It doesn't subside. And you are. I feel there's just greatly in this lunar place when this comes up. And now maybe it is that you are getting out of that, or you're out of it now. And this is why you're thinking about your life and getting things, all of your ducks in a row, right? Your ducks. And doing something that you can really be proud of, right? Something that like I lost this person who I love so deeply, and in the survivor's guilt, right? They had more reason to live than I did. They were better at living than I was. They loved it more than, anybody. And yet, they're not here, and I am here. And I struggle with that, right? And I think you are getting to that point. You're starting to remember. It's your job now to carry this person with you. You have to live for them now. I know, it sounds like a burden or something that we're not cut out for. But that's what it is. We carry our people with us. And there's nothing as beautiful of a memorial, a devotion, than to live well as you can, whatever that looks like. And I see you acknowledging this. And I see you doing something about it. And this is a hopeful time. All right. Let's do our gratitude card. Our gratitude card. All right. We're going to flip through and stop where it feels right. Restful haven. I am thankful for the gift of shelter. My haven protects me from the elements and offers me. Let me start again with that part. My haven protects me from the elements and offers me safe respite. It reminds me of that Bob Dylan song, Shelter from the Storm. And if you've never heard it, go listen to it. It's wonderful. Practice. Take a moment to give thanks for the dwelling place you call home. No matter how big or small, your shelter is a protective haven. Your shelter is a protective haven. Absolutely. All right. Pisces, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. Hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment, yeah, do it. I love reading them. I love hearing from people. I love getting to know you all. So definitely leave a comment. Let me know what's going on with you. Where are you from? Is this your first time here? And all of the things. So, again, I'm going to tell you I love you, and I do, and I thank you, and we'll talk in just a few days. Good night.